We've got some fantastic businesses happening together, and markets are getting made, specifically in our emerging market growth. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd say across that 4-point game plan, we had a heck of a year together collectively. And on behalf of Microsoft, all of our employees, and everybody that's here, I want to make sure you know how much we deeply appreciate and thank you for the partnership and for the awful hard work that was done this past year. Thank you so much. Great year in FY12. Now, there's 4 key business trends that we see going forward. And these, I think, you'll see these pretty universally, because I get asked a lot by our partners, what trends do you see in the business? Well, we see these 4. Certainly the economy continues to have opportunity, whether it's in Europe, we certainly see a lot of opportunity there, some in the downsizing, some in the Nordics, we see growth. So there's a mixed bag as it relates to the economy. Latin American economies, again, a mixed bag. We see some up economies, we see some down economies. Geopolitical issues are permeating throughout the world, and we're certainly dealing with those and the opportunity that comes with that. We saw a lot of that, particularly in the Middle East and Africa this past year. Businesses are going more and more multi-channel. The ability to have multiple revenue sources and multiple ways to bring your product to market, we see as a really unique opportunity in the business trend area. And then the reality is, with the web, the internet, the number of people that are connected, we actually see a very unique trend and opportunity as it relates to customer feedback, customer knowledge, and engagement. And so these 4 key business trends we think are important in how we set up FY13. And to complement that, we also see 8 technology trends. And of the 8 technology trends, certainly the cloud is no surprise. The explosion of data, social computing, natural interaction, how people engage with technology continues to have more and more opportunity across and pervasiveness across technology platforms. The ecosystem of computers and the fact that everything is connected and you can connect everywhere. The consumerization of IT, which I'll touch on a little bit later. Connectivity is getting better and better, and we still have some ways to go, but certainly it's all going mobile. And then machine learning, which we think is the most significant trend on the page. The reality is computers and technology have to continue to get smarter and anticipate opportunities for people, to be able to enable them to do things that they never dreamed of with software, with hardware, and the magic of technology. So we think these are 8 very important technology trends. Now with that, there's a couple of things when we think about FY13. As we ground ourselves sort of in the business trends and with the technology trends, we think this is a unique year because there's a new era of technology happening. And there's also a new era at Microsoft happening. Because in the past, in between product cycles, this will come as no surprise, ladies and gentlemen, we've been in grind it out mode. We've been grinding it out. And we've been doing a great job grinding it out. Winning share, all-time highs in customer satisfaction, getting after deployment, really embracing the cloud, on and on and on. Those are wonderful things. The reality is, in FY13, we think we've got to rethink the approach. We think our partners need to rethink the approach that we take to this year and this unique opportunity. When you look at it, FY13 provides each and every one of us a new day to really figure out, if it were our first day in this business, what would we do differently than what we're doing today? It's a new opportunity. It's a new opportunity because there's new revenue streams, there's new business models, there's new customer segments that each and every one of us can go after and tackle. We also think that this is a new era. And Webster defines new era as a period of time. And I think in our business careers, It's really unique when you have a period of time to where you can really make an impact and make a difference. And so we really believe that this is an incredible opportunity in FY13. And I hope you're as excited as we are about really embracing it and leveraging it to the next level. Now, a couple of things in Microsoft aren't going to change. Number one, we're still going to invest in innovation for the long term. And number two, we still believe execution is strategic. And we're going to drive great long-term execution. You all know we've been on a multi-year journey of improving our execution over the last several years. And it just continues to get more and more refined and fine-tuned. And it's allowed us to really get through a period of time that opens up the opportunity for this new era. Now, that investment in innovation runs deep throughout the company. And if you had any doubts about Microsoft and our commitment to the cloud, please let me put them to bed today. Because our vision and aspiration as an organization is we aspire to have a continuous cloud service for every person, every device, and every business. That's what we're about at Microsoft. And we want to connect up with software and services to every person on the planet. And we're proud of the fact today that over 1.5 billion people use our products every single day. I feel a great sense of responsibility about that, and a great sense of pride. But you know what? There's another 5.5 billion people we need to go get together with our partners. And that's the opportunity that we have together. And that investment in innovation is an interesting one. And I really want you to take note, because you've seen a lot of the products and a lot of the lineup and what we have coming. What enabled it was in FY08 and FY09, during the global macroeconomic crisis, most every company in the world pulled back on R&D and innovation. But Microsoft. Microsoft increased our R&D and our innovation. And as a result of that, this year we'll spend over $9.4 billion in research and development. And if you look at that, that's $3 billion, ladies and gentlemen, more than the next closest technology company. That's an investment in your future and in our future. And we're committed to it for the long term. And so that investment in 08, 09, 10, and in 11 has enabled this innovation wave that like we've never seen before. It's unprecedented in the history of Microsoft. For the very first time, every single product in our portfolio, ladies and gentlemen, is getting refreshed and relaunched in a 12-month cycle. That's unprecedented. And when you look at the lineup, and it just goes on and on, with all of the different opportunities we have together. You heard about System Center yesterday, SkyDrive, and the importance of that going forward as a cloud service. The Dynamics releases, lots of Bing releases, Connect for Windows, Windows Azure getting into infrastructure as a service in a huge way in over 48 countries. Windows Intune continuing to make progress in new releases. Windows Server 2012, which I'll talk about, which I think is absolutely one of the best releases of any product we've ever had. And you'll see why in a moment. Office 365, continuing to update it, and we have an education offer that hit the market last week. Certainly Windows 8. New browser hitting the market, Surface. Xbox Smart Glass, new releases of Dynamics across the board. Windows Phone, Visual Studio 2012, .NET, Halo 4, Connect, Xbox Live, Office 15, Wave 15, and SharePoint 15. And it just keeps going on and on and on and on. It's the largest single release cycle in our history. And the energy and the momentum from that is unbelievable. I mean, it's so exciting to be able to show customers and talk to customers about what we're doing in the world. with technology and the magic of software. This is a company that's very committed to that for the long term. And when you think about the opportunity we have from an execution standpoint, the reality is, in this new era, we've got an awesome responsibility to make sure that we do our best work together, that we collectively execute together better than we ever have. So in many ways, all of the work we've been working on the last 5, 6 years is really so that we can leverage that momentum, the work, the energy, and harness it for this year. It's all been in preparation for the opportunity we have in FY13. And so our execution, I'm going to take you through the whole company's execution today. Across businesses, which many of you always want to know, what is your focus as a company? Consumers, which I get more and more questions, and we have a lot of retail channel partners here, and advertisers. And we have some of our agency and display advertising partners here. You always want to know, what's the total company focus for this year from an execution standpoint? So let's jump into it, because I do believe our collective execution this year is critical for the next 5, 6, 7 years for both of our well-being. When you think about, first and foremost for businesses, it's about Windows 8. It's about making sure that we land Windows 8, that we excite businesses, we get our partners excited, that we have great devices out there in the OEM ecosystem, and that we really get after apps. And we've got a great story across all three. It's about making sure as we get into apps that we've got great enterprise apps. And making sure that that ecosystem for Windows 8, Windows Phone, and Azure is all ready to go. It's about winning with Office 365 every time. And we've got a real opportunity to take 365 to the next level. It's about the cloud and winning with the data center, private, public, and hybrid. And we've got an unprecedented cloud story, ladies and gentlemen. And the beautiful thing about our cloud story is when we talk about it, it's what we have in market today. I love the fact that Office 365 is available in 88 countries and going to more all the time. So when you look at how we're setting ourselves up, deployment remains paramount. And I'll touch on deployment in a moment and the importance of continuing to drive deployment. The consumerization of IT, embrace and evangelize and leverage the story that we've got on consumerization of IT. SQL 2012, getting after the database so that you can build applications and services on top of it. And so that we can rescue people from Oracle and IBM and others is a really important part of the SQL story. And Dynamics, winning with AX and CRM and getting after it in the marketplace is something that we're very, very excited about. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the company's agenda on driving great execution in FY13 with our partners. And when you think about the single greatest and biggest launch in the history of the company, it comes back to Windows 8. And something I'd share with you about Windows 8 that I think this makes it very unique is for the very first time in the history of operating systems, we will have the same user experience across the smartphone, the tablet, the slate, the laptop, the desktop, and the television with the Metro user interface. A huge deal.